Not sure whose idea this was. Pretty nice.
Yeah. You got the hookups over there.
Ready? All right. Okay. This meeting is starting, so I guess the first thing we've got is a determination of quorum, which,
Yes,
Barely.
we have a quorum.
all right. And then we'll be having some public hearings. We'll have public comments. We're going to be limiting it to 5 minutes. Or speakers, what is it, 3 minutes?
It's 5.
It's 5, okay. And when you come up, just, you can state your name and your address, and does he have a form filled out? If you want to
We
speak?
have no public speakers that have filled out forms. Anyone here that didn't fill out a form that wants to speak? Okay. Did you want to speak to the item, or do you want to speak to generic public comments?
I guess to the item.
Okay, thank you.
I didn't put the item down, but let's see.
You want? I'll mark it. Which one is it, Rochelle?
So it'll be, I guess, number 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is? Yeah, there's a typo on that, so we'll get to that.
Okay.
All right, so we'll start the first public hearing to consider a request to change in zoning from Class 2 residential R1 Single Family District to Class 3 Business LR Local Retail District, being a .80 acre tract of land in the Haven subdivision, Block 1 of said Haven subdivision of Lot 7 of the CE Beavers subdivision of part of the following surveys: McKinney and Williams Abstract 954, J.M. Moore Abstract 882, and INGNRR Co. Abstract 1998, all in Parker County, Texas, further identified as being a portion of Parker County Appraisal District as property ID number 9527.
Chelsea, you want to read the brief for that?
Oh, I can. Do you want me to do that for the public hearing or
Yeah,
wait till the
yeah,
agenda
go ahead
item?
and
Okay.
read it.
So commissioners, the applicant was recently here at the last meeting to request a zoning change to commercial. After that, he had a change in an optometrist office, is looking to go into that location. Council did request a tighter zoning to local retail, so that is what he is proposing, local retail. And if you turn further in your packet to the agenda item number 6, I believe, it will show you an aerial. This is at 6603 East Bankhead. It's the corner of FM 5 and Bankhead Highway.
And the property owner is not.
The property owner is not here, but his daughter is here with any answers to questions that you may have.
You can open the public hearing.
What's that?
You can open the public hearing.
Oh, let's open the public hearing.
I'm Megan Cushman, I'm the daughter. Just here to answer any questions you have. Current state, we're just looking to, like she said, scale back local retail. They send us back to y'all. I guess we need to see you again. Questions?
Thank you.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Any questions? All right, we'll close the public hearing. Moving on to another public hearing to consider the approval of a specific use permit to allow existing pole sign to be updated to an electronic informative digital message sign for Trinity Christian Academy, an approximately 4.392 acre tract legally described as lot tract of land being situated in the James Oxer Survey Abstract number 1029, Parker County, Texas. Is that right? Oh, that's out of order.
It's lot
Front and back.
Oh, yeah.
Come on,
lot
I'm
2.
sorry.
Too good.
To the, start over. The 4.392 acre tract legally described as Lot 2, Block 1 of the Trinity Church Property Subdivision in Parker County Appraisal District of Property ID 96818.
You need to read that.
Are you ready for me to read that one as well? Okay. I'm all thrown off,
We're
sorry.
changing things around. so
Yeah.
I'm throwing it all crazy.
Well, yeah, the front.
Okay,
the front and
you're
back
good.
printing
Yeah, well,
threw
that's
me off
throwing
on that.
everybody
Yeah, I
off.
was like, that, when I started reading, I was like, that's not right.
Commissioner, city staff received an application for an SUP for an electronic sign on an existing pole sign at Trinity Christian Academy. The height is not to change, and the sign should remain informative and not change frequently. City staff have reviewed the request and recommend its approval with conditions that the sign changes once a day at off hours.
Okay. We'll open the public hearing. Does anyone want to speak on that? All right, we'll close the public hearing on that one. Next public hearing, to consider approval of a request for change in rezoning from Class 2 Residential R1 Single Family District to Class 1 Special Purpose PDCL Plan Development District for the Bill Dean Ranch Development, being approximate 81.706 acre tract of land situated in an abstract number 468 West Franklin Survey, and then abstract number 910, a McCarver Survey, Parker County, Texas, as further identified as being a portion of Parker County Appraisal District as property ID number 106134, 4776, and 62893.
I think that one might have gotten changed to at number 3.
Yeah, you read 4, we're on 3, but that's okay, we'll skip it around.
Did I say it's been a long day?
Yeah, it's raining.
It has been a long day.
Yes, so we'll just do number 4.
Okay.
And
There
then-
is a Scrivener's error, and the change is in there for you. It is to reference a Clarion subdivision.
It's not the Beldine Ranch, it's actually Clarion subdivision.
That's right.
So there was a
So,
administrative error.
Commissioners, this item was presented before, excuse me, I got my papers all messed up.
Hang on page 3.
Look like a chicken with my head cut off.
Okay.
Where's my brief?
Okay.
I think that he skipped this one.
Okay.
Anyway, we're opening the public hearing, and the developer has a beautiful presentation for later.
So we'll close the public hearing, right? Or was there? or do
Go ahead and open
Open
it.
it.
Go ahead and
Well,
open
okay, open
it
the public hearing.
for anybody who wants to
For anybody
speak
who
to
wants
item
to
number 4,
Item-
Clarion subdivision.
Yes, sir.
This is for the Clarion, not for the Bell.
It's correct.
Correct.
It was a typographical error.
We have corrected forms
Yeah.
up here.
The description that is in that item is correct. The land description is correct, but the calling out of the subdivision is not. So,
Pardon me, I'm sorry.
you're fine, sir.
I know I'm out of order.
No, you're fine, sir.
For one is the description is 3 different times on acreage. Why?
The other information is fine. The only thing that is wrong in that description is the Beldine Ranch. So it's not Beldine Ranch. So the 80,
One of your descriptions says 80 point something acres, one says 81.7 acres. And I'm getting confused about how much we're actually trying to do. A half acre may not sound like that, it might be something like that. You know, so you know, so I'm just curious as to why we would have so many different descriptions. I understood the scrivener errors, I got it, but I've looked all across the websites, and it seems like every time I see that piece of property described, it has a different acreage.
it's the approximate 81.706.
So when it was recently annexed,
I mean, that was just a part of it.
yeah,
Yes,
and
sir.
when it was recently annexed, part of the development was already in the city limits. The other part was not annexed into the city yet.
I'm
And
just saying, if I was buying that piece of property, I would be a little bit nervous about the survey. You know, I surveyed that but, okay.
Yes, sir.
Whenever it was time to talk, I didn't get a piece of paper, I don't know.
You don't have to for public hearing.
Okay.
If you'd like to speak during public hearing, you may do so now. If you'd like to approach the podium, please.
I'm Michael Murray, I live at 3328 Wheelview Lane.
or street, or whatever they decide to call it this week. My only comments were looking at and I assume that with the zoning, we're binding the package that goes along with it. Is that correct? Or is that appropriate? I'm just trying to get it. Okay, the Clarion, what do they call it? It came out with the package, shows where they're gonna build it. Anyway, the point being is it allows that acreage to be, I look at the initial thing on a planned development. The base zoning says 0.9 acres, basically. Not a single design of this product is above half an acre. Seems like we're just rubber stamping a zoning plat on top of something. I happen to live beside it on a 1 acre lot, and well, that means everything beside me will be smaller if this is the way that works. But that's what it looks like to me, is you're asking them to change the zoning so you can automatically drop the overlay on top of it. That seems a little weird, okay? I'm not against anything, I'm just.
This is just public comment, so we'll,
Okay,
yes,
okay.
the developer's here and they can, and the property owner, and they can speak to that at
And
the time.
the other piece of this is, along with this overlay, is a egress gate for a emergency vehicle entrance. We have 3 other entrances into that property. Why do we need another one? We watched the cities, and I'm not against anything, except that it seems that every time we ask for a public type restriction on a property that's gated, that seems to be soon negated. That gate would soon end up open, leaving another entrance into the development that I live in. The last part of my comments is the easement that goes down beside Royal View on their plat shows about, 20 feet or better along the affluent pipeline that goes all the way down the hill and opens an area that has never been publicly open to the rest of the world to through traffic by foot. And I would like to consider that thought. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir,
Thank you, Mr. Murray.
Ma'am?
May I get your name again, please?
Michael, M-I-C-H-A-E-L, Murray, M-U-R-R-A-Y.
Thank you, Mr. Murray.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll close. Nobody else is going to talk? We'll.
So, Marty Brooks, I live at 500 Verde Road, so I'm on the north end of this development. So, I just need more information about, like, I'm pretty sure my drain field goes right where this property goes. So, I don't know what they're gonna put, like, retaining walls, what, I just need more information for what I'm gonna have to do. Fix my property for drainage and everything else. So, I mean, they can show me presentations and stuff. I just wish somebody would come and look, say, this is what we're gonna do, where I can make adjustments and stuff, because this is a hole. All the water off that hill runs right down that hole. And then, like I say, my drain field goes right to that property. So obviously, I'm probably gonna have to do something. So Scott Smith, our Councilman Scott Smith, come and looked at this property in 2022, and he said, this ain't gonna work for what they had planned. So I hope they have a great plan for this, because right now, it's where all the water goes, off that hill. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right, we'll close the public hearing. Okay, we're going back to agenda item number 3, a public hearing to consider a request for a change in zoning from Class 2 Residential R1 Single Family District to a Class 3 Business C Commercial District for the Barco Land Company LLC, the owner of all that certain 7.290 acre tract of land being situated in the James Oxer Survey, abstract number 1029, Parker County, Texas.
Yes, Commissioners, the applicant requests approval to rezone the recently annexed property, approximately 7.29 acres, from R1 to commercial to allow for the development of a Tractor Supply store and potential future commercial frontage. This use is consistent with the evolving commercial character of East Bankhead Highway. The owner's also here and will answer any questions that you have later as well.
All right, we'll open the public hearing. Does anyone want to speak on that item? All right, we'll close the public hearing. All right, the agenda items is, first, we're going to need to, the approval of planning and zoning minutes from March 17th, 2026. Did you have a chance to review those?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Those in favor? The ayes have it. How many was this?
Let's just do the 4,
It's just those, okay. I'll sign those.
and then we have a preliminary plat.
Well, I'll find it later, so I can mix up here. All right. Moving on, agenda item number 6, discussion and action to consider a request for a change in zoning from Class 2 Residential R1, Single Family District, to Class 3 Business LR, Local Retail District, being a .80 acre tract of land in the Haven subdivision, Block 1 of said Haven subdivision of Lot 7 of the C.E. Beaver subdivision of a part of the following surveys: McKinney and Williams, Abstract 954, J.M. Moore, Abstract 882, and INGNRR Co., Abstract 1998, all in Parker County, Texas, further identified as being a portion of Parker County Appraisal District as property ID number 9527.
Yes, Commissioners, again, this is 6603 East Bankhead Highway. It's currently surrounded by businesses that are in the county, legal non-conforming commercial businesses on all sides except the north and east. The owner's requesting a commercial change for the optometrist's office. I have included the notices that went out, as well as aerial of the property and the 200 feet around it. You can also see the highlighted areas on the next page. Page 13 has highlighted areas where you can see each of the commercial existing properties. And again, his daughter's here if you have any questions.
Okay, any questions or comments on that?
This is the second round of these, so I'll make a motion to approve agenda item number 6 as stated.
I got a couple of questions to ask, if you don't mind. Going to our local retail and everything, if the optometrist doesn't go through, like the golf cart company, what's the backup plan on that?
Backup plan would be the next owner would come and get the appropriate zoning, right? So we're looking to make this a local retail. If they don't want to do something that's within your local retail regulations, we would ask for them to come back here and let you know what they plan to do.
Yeah, because the reason why we're asking is because of the safety of the citizens at that intersection.
Agree, yes.
And as we start changing businesses, we start having more traffic, and it's bad.
It is, I agree. And golf cart is only changing because we couldn't get this approved through city council. That's the reason this did fall through. So right now, local retail, if it's on that list, then they're good for that. If the next owner decides that it's not going to be an optometrist office, we would expect them to follow the regulations, put in something on that list, or come back and have this conversation with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
We have a motion on the floor. We have a second.
I have a second.
I second it.
Those in favor? Ayes have it. Item number 7, the discussion and action to consider approval of a specific use permit to allow for existing pole sign to be updated to an electronic informative digital message sign for Trinity Christian Academy, an approximately 4.392 acre tract legally described as Lot 2, Block 1 of the Trinity Church Property Subdivision in Parker County Appraisal District as property ID 96818.
Yes.
Brian, are you coming up here to talk?
If you need me to.
No, just kidding.
Again, Commissioners, city staff received the application for an SUP for TCA. The height is not to change and should remain informative, not to change frequently. And then you can see the plans within your packet. And of course, you're here for any questions.
Yes.
Are you going to post live scores?
I wish.
First of all, yeah,
I mean, whatever you need me to do, and we can approve, we can get it done.
I think it's gonna look great.
Yes.
It's neat.
Especially needed, if you look there, you can see the existing sign. We're on the west side, it still has the Trinity Christian on the east side, it's blown out, there's nothing there, we've had to remove the lights from it. I think it'll be a definite upgrade, and also allow our school to actually be noticed from the interstate. And because even on rentals, we often have people come in, and we didn't even know this was a school. Just with our location, I think it'll be great
Yeah.
for the community.
Could you be able to post if there was an emergency?
As far as I know,
You
yes.
could override?
Everything's computer driven. We'll be able to override, we'll be able to adjust settings on it, anything that needs to be done.
Okay.
All the programming is set up where we have control on it and being able to adjust whatever.
Great.
I might have overlooked it. What's the lumens on it?
It's in, we updated all that information today. They didn't send it as lumens. What did they send me as?
Foot Lamberts,
Um,
foot candles, maybe?
They put it in, I sent one earlier, it was later on in the day. It said the sign brightness can be set to not exceed 0.3 foot candles above ambient light levels as indicated by, and this was for City of Plano, is what they had sent out. When Plano and Dallas, they required this before getting the permit. But according to this, it said not to exceed 0.3 foot candles above ambient light levels.
And that falls within our ordinance.
Does it have is it gonna work off a time dimmer or?
There, according to this, it says there is LED software uses what is referred to as a software photo cell and relies on zip code location of the sign to determine longitude and latitude. The sign dims or brightens appropriately based on seasonal adjustment, sunrise, sunset. It could actually have a 100-step photo cell available to control the brightness if you want to actually do actual light controls.
Yes, sir.
So you're setting a new pole, right?
No, the pole is there. It's
Existing
just-
pole?
It's the existing pole. The sign's there. We're removing the box from the top of it and then installing the new LED.
It was already electronic, sort of, at the bottom. It had a little runner, so it was already.
Oh, they'll be able to retro.
Yeah, at one time, way before I got here, it did have like the.
Kind of a little ticker
the-
tape.
the
Yeah, like a ticker
Red dot scrolling
Yeah.
one time, but in my 9 years, it hadn't.
Yeah, it'll look way better once it gets fixed.
Yeah, it's,
Do you know how many times they'll be changing the message?
Not for sure. We haven't set those things forth. And like I said, that will all fall into whatever your regulations are. We can make those adjustments.
We don't really have any regulations on it. The last one that we did approve, it was based on the fact that they only changed the message once a day, and it was happening in the middle of the night, so that it wasn't distracting to traffic. So I think being the school, we probably would offer a little more longitude as far as
Right.
that is concerned, but as long as it's not flipping constantly.
Right.
I know that you're right next to, obviously, the bank that does in fact change its messages
Right.
quite often a day, so
Right.
we obviously realize we have to be fair. So-
Okay, and that's what we would be looking for. I
Yes.
know we have one in front of the secondary building that changes quite often, but
Yes.
it's not in excess of the interstate or anything like that, but it's informative for people on drop off, and it rolls probably every 30 seconds, but we'd make adjustments.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Nope.
Nope.
Do I hear a motion?
I motion to approve agenda number 7.
Have a second?
second.
All right, all in favor? Ayes have it. Moving on to agenda item number 8, discussion and action to consider a request for a change in zoning from Class 2 Residential R1 Single Family District to Class 3 Business C Commercial District for the Barco Land Company LLC, the owner of all that certain 7.290 acre tract of land being situated in the James Oxer Survey Abstract Number 1029, Parker County, Texas.
Yes, Commissioners, again, this is an applicant that recently was annexed into the city. 7.29 acres. Proposing commercial zoning to allow for the development of a Tractor Supply retail store and potential future commercial frontage. This use is consistent in the evolving commercial character of East Bankhead Highway. I have attached the preliminary plat, and the owner is here if you have any questions.
Anyone want to do any comments or have any questions?
If y'all have any questions, I'm happy to answer. I'm Grant Reed, I work for Barco. So we've got 7.29 acres here. Kind of been working with Tractor Supply for almost a year now, kind of getting things situated. There was a handful of existing easements and extensions for future roads that we've worked on to kind of get it to this point. You'll see Willow Bend Drive that tees into Bankhead Highway there, that we're going to deed that as a public road, so you have public access all the way off that road and extending utilities to the site. Currently, we are requesting both lots to be zoned for that. The reason being is we would need to get the second lot behind it contiguous with city limits, so that's why you have the 2 lots there. The Tractor Supply would be situated, which we're obviously the landowners, we can't speak on their behalf, but they are contracted on the property, and I think that's been public knowledge and been posted at a few city council meetings thus far, so they're contracted for the back lot there, and obviously one of their contingencies prior to closing the property and building their project would be to get the applicable zoning for their use, so.
Okay. Any questions for him?
I was just wondering, so then they, for when you turn into the facility, so if you're going east, I guess you'd have to cross traffic, or am I looking at it wrong?
So in terms of where they would access the actual Tractor Supply lot there?
Yes, sir.
So this is the actual plat here on the actual site plan, which I don't know if we have a copy of that or not, but there is multiple, so that Willow Bend Drive there, kind of running east to west there. If you're heading in east, there's going to be, you can see notated between lots 1 and lot 2 there, there's going to be a 60-foot shared access easement, so there'll be kind of one of those common drive roads coming through there. And then I believe Tractor Supply has 2 cuts and curb cuts coming off Willow Bend Drive to access that property. There'll be a full 24 fire lane all the way around the building, so full access across the entire building as well.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Anything
Thank
else?
y'all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
No, ayes have it. Moving on to agenda item number 9. Discussion and action to consider approval of a request for change in rezoning from Class 2 Residential, R1 Single Family District, to Class 1 Special Purpose PD CL Plan Development District for the Clarion development, being approximate 81.706 acre tract of land situated in abstract number 468, West Franklin Survey, and an abstract number 910, Emma Carver Survey, Parker County, Texas, as further identified as being a portion of Parker County Appraisal District as property ID number 106134, 47776, and 62893.
Yes, Commissioners, recently annexed residential subdivision known as Clarion has requested a zoning change from an R1 to a PDCL. This request is to allow a coordinated residential subdivision layout with integrated open spaces, park dedication, and modified development standards tailored to the site's conditions. The developer has provided a comparison side by side of the base R5 zoning to the proposed PD modified lot standards and is here with a presentation. Staff have reviewed and recommend its approval. I'm going to go ahead and pull up that presentation, and we have Brian Holland here from Scorberg Company.
Good evening, Commissioners, staff. Appreciate your time. My name is Brian Holland. I'm with Scorberg Development Company. I'm here representing my company and also Brothers in Christ. Bryson Adams is here. He's the property owners. We're going to be doing this in conjunction with those folks as well. So 2 things I want to start off with. Go Frogs. I saw your sweatshirt there, so I'm a fellow TCU guy. So This has been a long time coming, and we're glad to be here. It's kind of been a culmination of almost 2 years of talking with staff and multiple presentations in front of the city council. I think I've been in front of the P&Z a couple times as well, with workshops and then various back and forths. And so hopefully this is a culmination of all that. This is kind of including public comment and everything as well. We've had it up on the website for almost a year now, and taking questions and comments from the public as well. So I'm going to just run through this real quick and talk to you a little bit about who we are, and then talk about the project and get into some of the details, and I won't take too much of your time. So Scoreboard Company, we're a single-family lot developer. That's all we do. We've been doing it in Dallas-Fort Worth for the past 40 years. Completed about 140 projects over 33 different municipalities, 7,000 plus single-family lots for pretty much all of your home builders across the market, from custom guys all the way up to your production-oriented builders like Lennar and D.R. Horton Meritage. These are just a couple of the projects that I wanted to show you as an example. This is over in Rockwall, so on the far other side of the world from where we are today, but very similar in size, about 85 acres, 250 lots, combination of 62, 72, and 80-foot lots there. You can see some of the product that'll be very similar to what we're doing here. Windsor Homes is our sister home building company. They will also be building in this project as well. So that's just an example of a project that's in the build-out stage currently. And then this is just another example up in Lakewood Village, if you know, up near Little Elm, project called North Shore. Again, this is a little bit larger lot sizes, about the size of the lots you'll see on the upper kind of the northwest or northeast part of our project as I get into it and talk to you about more of that project. So, are you doing this, or is that me?
I think it's me.
Okay.
I don't think that's working.
This is not working, okay. Okay. All right, let's talk a little about the subject property. I think everybody probably knows where this is, but we're basically located within Crown Road. Crown Road kind of hugs us to the north and the west there, just to the east of the Clear Fork Trinity River, north of the reserves at Trinity, the project that's being developed currently, and then we are west of Squaw Creek and the existing Squaw Creek and the Willowwood community. When we look at a project, we also look at what the comprehensive land use plan calls for, and your current future land use map and the comprehensive land use call for medium density residential on this project. That is a density of between 4 and 6 units per acre, and a mixture of different lot sizes, different housing products. So what you'll see when we get into here, we actually are below that 4 to 6 unit designation, and we have a mixture of home products. We think we fit pretty well within the comprehensive land use plan.
Do it again.
No. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to show you a before and after, because I think we came before the P&Z about a year ago and had a much higher dense project. And this is the results after multiple conversations with council and staff and workshops and the public. This is kind of the end results and where we ended up. And what we're trying to do with this project is really work from kind of the southwest to the northeast, and be cognizant of our neighbors to the north and to the east, but also have similar or adjoining property sizes with the reserves at Trinity to our south. And so what you'll see here is we've got a combination of 5 different product types, 5 different lot sizes, with our minimum size being 5,000 square foot, which is the same size minimum that the reserves at Trinity has. Most of their lots are in that 5,000 square foot category. And then we go up from there. We've got also have 6,000 square foot lots, which you see in kind of the lighter beige color, and then 7,200 square foot lots. Those would be like 70 by 120, 125. And then we get into the bigger lots in the pink and the darker pink and the light rose colors. Those ones up on the far east side, those are a little less than a half an acre, about 19,800 square feet. And that was, I think we started out with all 80s up there, and we've converted this to have larger lots of gestation to our 1 acre lot neighbors over there. So you'll see our total density is about 2.9 units per acre on the gross and about 3.9 units per acre on the net. So as you look at that conforming, have it conforming to the future land use plan, we actually are under the minimum there of 4 to 6 units per acre on this project. Again, I was telling you a little bit about the historical density comparisons. The plan on the top is what we came in with originally, and you can see that it was considerably more dense. We had about 284 total units, net density. When you're looking at residential subdivision, you really look at the net, because the gross is a little misleading, especially when you've got floodplain on the west, which we're going to turn into, a future public park and extension, which I'll talk about here in a minute. So, we were at 4.5 units per acre, 284 lots. We've dropped that almost 40 lots, I guess 43 lots, and down to a density of about 3.9 units per acre. So lower density, larger lots, which all equate to a higher quality outcome of this project. This is kind of where the details have come to light over the last couple of years. We've been working real hard with the county and with the city to try to really take advantage of the existing infrastructure and improve the existing infrastructure to make it a much more safer location out there. Crown Road, from all of our understanding and talking with folks, has been a kind of a dangerous S-curve location out there. And so we looked at this as an opportunity to solve that. We just got an agreement approved with the county not this last Monday, not yesterday, but the week before. Went to the County Commissioners Court. And so what you're going to see there is we're going to dedicate additional right-of-way for Crown Road as it comes around, kind of our northwest corner there. That can be utilized in the future, whether the city ends up annexing that road or the county decides they want to improve it. There's no plans currently in the works to widen that road, but that right-of-way will be there if they ever need it or choose to want it. You go a little further south there when you come up on the actual S-curve. We're going to take that, we're going to build a full three-way intersection at that location with signage and traffic control devices. No, it won't be lighted, but you'll have a three-way stop there. And then we're also going to widen that bridge. I think we're going to widen that bridge by about 6 feet and put some new barricades across it. So we think it's going to make a tremendous impact and difference out there from a safety standpoint. So the county was pretty fired up about it. They were originally going to contribute all the materials for the bridge construction, but it ended up being cheaper for us not cheaper, but more efficient for us to hire the work done and have it done and shipped in and do that ourselves. So we're just going to pay for that ourselves and take care of that. So, and then what you'll see is kind of feeding up into our project, we're going to do an extension of that Crown Road. It's not going to be called Crown Road because Crown Road's going to continue to be named that as it goes up and around from the north to the north and east. Did we name that already? I can't remember. So, but it'll have a new name, and we're coming up through that floodplain into our subdivision. That's going to be a private access drive because the county and the city didn't want that, just because it is in the floodplain. And so we're going to own that and maintain that through our homeowners association. And that's called out in the county agreement, it's called out in our PD, and in the developer agreement that the council, your council approved a couple weeks ago. So, but then everything, once you get to the lots themselves, that will all be public right away from there on in. So, a couple other things to point out. We will be matching the street section for JD Toll's connection with the reserves. They need that connection for actually their second point of access. They can't go any further until with their third and final plat of that project until we actually get on the ground and give them that access point. So I think they're excited to see us coming along at some point. And then we talked a little bit about this limited emergency vehicle access point. That's been discussed, quite a bit over the last year and a half with council and with the public, and there was a desire for us not to access that from our resident standpoint to get out onto Royal View Court, but from a fire and safety and police and emergency services standpoint, there was a real big desire to have that access point there, but put it where it's a gate, only emergency access point only. It will be owned by ourselves, but it's called out in the development agreement that it has to be closed at all times. And so the only way it could be open in the future is if the city decided they want to change that for whatever reason. But our folks will not have access, and neither will the folks on Royal View Court. They won't be able to access our subdivision either, and therefore, you know, to get up and through our subdivision. But we felt that was a good kind of solution to keep our traffic off their roads, but also give emergency services what they need. Talk a little bit about the open space and parkland dedication. Kingsgate Park, as you all know, starts way down south, and I think it's going to continue to get improved all the way up to basically where we are. This is going to be a future dedication of that. It's about 16.4 acres on our west side. It's in the floodplain, like the balance of the, most of that, the rest of that Kingsgate Ranch, or Kingsgate Park is also in the floodplain. But what you'll see is we're going to be putting in a 10-foot wide concrete trail section, as you see that in a figure 8 kind of outline. We'll be putting a dirt trail. I guess there's a big mountain bike club out here that, and so that'll be an extension of that. They can get on there, and then the other thing we're going to be doing down at that cul-de-sac head. We'll put some on-street parking. That's just a representative photo there. We're working with staff right now to really come up with the details on what all that looks like. But there'll be some public parking down there where people can park, get onto the trailhead, and get out there and exercise for the public. So it's not just for the subdivision itself. And then I think in our development agreement, the restroom facilities are required to be maintained by our homeowners association, even though they are on public property. So they'll be dedicated to the city, but we'll have the agreement that our folks have to maintain it. So these are key PD zoning enhancements. If you got your packet, it's a lot more detailed than what I'm going to talk to you about tonight. But these are kind of the high points that I think that what you see when you go through a PD versus straight zoning. And the other benefit of annexing and working with a developer on the PD is it gives you the right to ask a little bit more. Staff's been really diligent on making sure that they've got what they want to see in this project, and so we're hopeful that it's satisfactory for everybody. But some things that the state does not allow unless you enter into a PD or a development agreement with the developer is for cities to regulate building materials. I don't know if y'all knew that or not. You probably heard that multiple times from guys standing up here like me. But part of this is just, making sure that we have in there what you need to have a long-term, high-quality project that's sustainable for a long time. So what we've agreed to is high-quality exterior materials, all 85% overall masonry on this thing, brick, stone, or cast stone. You'll see some additional details in there. Enhanced architectural design. So all of our builders have to have, I think there's like 8 different architectural enhancements. They got to choose like 3 or 4 of those. That's called out in the PD. Things like porches or dormers or varied roof lines, decorative elements that enhance the value and presentation of the homes within the community, with an emphasis on depth, articulation, and visual interest. The roof design standards, steep roof pitches with the dimensional architectural shingles required, consistent high-quality roofing materials throughout the project. And then elevation variation and street diversity, anti-monotony maybe is another term you've heard. So we've got that, and so because we have different lot size, we have different anti-monotony within our PD. Because like the larger lots, they're going to be more custom towards the top. They're going to have a much stricter anti-monotony requirement than some of your more production-oriented ones as you get closer to the reserves of Trinity. And so those, I think, you can see in your materials how we've set that aside. But you can't have the same house within like 3 homes, elevation, colors, anything like that. It's all going to be changed up so you don't get the same consistent look throughout the subdivision. And then garage and driveway standards all have to have a 2-car garage minimum. Your larger lots, once you get to 60 foot and larger, can accommodate a 3-car garage. A 50-foot lot is only a 50-foot, and 40-foot lots can only do the 2-car garage. And then just some of the special design guidelines that are also called out and required in the PD. We will have a mandatory homeowners association. We do in all of our projects. We're firm believers in HOAs. Not everybody likes them, and they're not for everybody, right? And so, but they help maintain values. And we hire a professional management company that manages the subdivision, manages the HOA. And so all of our builders submit all their plans through the HOA, we review all those, make sure they adhere to the PD, to our design guidelines, and then they go off and build the houses. And that HOA maintains and stays in place for forever. And so as people do modifications to their homes, and that's all going to go through the HOA as well. So integrated amenity and open space network, we already talked a little bit about that, the public parkland. But beyond that, we have some internal open spaces, as I'll show you here in a minute on the concept plan again. Up near the larger lots, we've got an existing pond up there. That's for two purposes. Yes, the gentleman, Mr. Brooks over here is right. We've looked at the drainage. It all does come down on here. We're going to keep that pond in place. We're going to divert some of the water to that. That will become a detention pond and then get released into the storm system that we're putting into the subdivision. So, you don't stay in business for 40 years if you don't take care of water coming onto your property. And so that's the number one concern developers have, is making sure you drain properly and that you don't get sued for the water that's, that's going into your new home. So that's something we will definitely give with Mr. Brooks and the other neighbors that are surrounding us to make sure that they know what's going on, they know what the design looks like. Right now, we're in the zoning stage and the preliminary plat stage. The next stage is design and getting into the real meat and potatoes. Retaining walls, grading, what kind of drainage, making sure all that works properly, figuring all that out. So, and then perimeter screening and buffering. I'll show you a perimeter wall plan here in just a few minutes. And then, what we try to do is community identity and entry features. You'll see high quality entry features on this, masonry, really good product. These homes are going to be between 500,000 and probably $1 million on the top end. And so we've got to, our builders expect that, and our consumers can expect a really nice product. So, and then mobility and connectivity, we talked a little bit about that already. So here's the perimeter screening I was talking to you about. So what you see is in yellow will be 6-foot board-on-board fence, which will be constructed by the builder when they build the homes. And then what you see in red there on the south side will be a 4-foot decorative metal fence. So the separation between those two is the 20-foot effluent easement that Mr. Murray was talking about. So that it'll be sandwiched between a builder fence and then an iron fence on the southern side, but we'll be turning it in. We've talked to the city about building a walking trail down through there. That is a city easement, but taking that walking trail and it'll come all the way down and get everybody in the subdivision all the way to the park. And we've even talked about putting a pedestrian gate on there so that if the Royal View neighbors decide they do want to use that for their purposes to walk down to the park and make it a little easier for them to get to than having to go all the way around, up through Kingsgate, then they'll be able to access that as well. So obviously taking into consideration the improvements that are in that easement. And then along Crown Road, this was talked about with the council the other night. They wanted to make sure that we had a masonry screen wall on that portion of the project, because as traffic comes around that corner, just to make sure that there's a little, at least a visual attenuation, and then also some sort of barrier in case, God forbid, something happens and somebody slides and hits that wall first and maybe slows them down before they get to the house,
So the emergency exit down there would just be 4 feet high?
No, the emergency access will be 6 foot tall. So I've got a picture of that in my appendix. I'll show you that here in just a minute. So it'll be offset and probably in line with the wood fences that you see there, so it'll be set back. That's what we talked about.
And the right-of-way is in between the red and yellow line?
The right-of-way are, between the red and the yellow line is the 20-foot.
Eastman.
The
easement.
It's the
Yeah,
easement,
easement.
the city's easement, yes.
Correct.
Yes, but it'll be maintained by the HOA, so.
The speed bumps on Crown, the speed bumps on Crown definitely, I think since they come out, what was it, 2 years ago? The speed bumps went in. So the speed, as people are coming down on Crown, has slowed down a lot.
It's slowed down, yeah.
So having the actual concrete or brick wall in there, it's just icing on the cake at this point. Because people used to fly down that hill, and now it's a lot quieter through there.
The other thing the county asked us to do, and I think the city also asked, is once you get on Crown, once you're on Crown and you're coming back kind of as you're heading west, and then you're about ready to head south, down towards the bridge, That's all that in Crown, that's all in the floodplain, right? And so when it rains, I mean, if you ever have a massive 100-year flood, that's going to be all underwater.
Right.
And so that's not really well signed, you know, there's not really any barricades or any signs that say, hey, you're entering into a flood area. So what we've agreed to do is provide signage all along there and even barricades, not only on the private street that we're going to be building, but also along Crown Road, so that as in those heavy rains, county personnel can go out there and drop these barricades and make sure people don't drive through there. So, I mean, people could always go around it, right? That's, knuckleheads do that all the time, but at least it'll be something that will hopefully add to some of the safety protocols that we're trying to put in place out there. So, I'm frozen again. This just talks a little bit about the housing. So when I said the cottage home sites, you probably I don't have a side-by-side to show you, but those are the ones closer to the reserves at Trinity, right, the 5,000 square foot lots. And so this would be kind of the product look of what you're looking at. It's very similar to what you see in the reserves at Trinity. Project square footage, I think you'll see starting out about 1,800 going up to 2,800 square foot on those homes. And the price point's about $420 to $520 on that. So that'll hit a good, hopefully, you know, today $420 is about an entry-level product, unfortunately. You know, back when we were young, it was a lot different than that. But today, that's just the reality of the world, you know. But that allows us to provide an opportunity for some of your teachers and your firefighters and, you know, your folks that single income families, right, that they're struggling to make ends meet, that this is an opportunity for them to get into a really high quality subdivision and kind of grow in it as they move up. They can sell and move up, or their parents can grow and build some of the bigger houses, and so it's kind of a multi-generation, I can't say the word.
Generation.
You know, yeah, thank you. Opportunity. These are the executive and the stay-at-home sites, which would be the 60 and 70-foot lots, the 6,000 to 7,200 square foot lots. Again, these are going to start around 2,000 square feet, go over 3,000 square feet, and then start at the 520s and go up to the 750s. And then your signature and luxury home sites, these are your larger, more custom-oriented homes. I think 2,500 is on the low end. Most of those will probably start in the 3,000 and go on up to 3,000, you know, to 4,000 to 5,000 square feet. So this is just kind of my little summary sheet. We've talked a lot about this, but as Chelsea mentioned, we voluntarily annexed about 62 acres. It was, there was 20 acres that was already within the city limits, but we've annexed the other 62 acres. Did a developer agreement with the city. Both those were approved over the last month with the council. And so we're bringing back the PD zoning, the plat tonight for y'all to consider. Improved traffic circulation and safety. We did already do a traffic impact analysis on this. They looked at the intersection of Crown Road, and then Crown as it crosses the bridge, a couple different locations. Those all work in an A/B mode. It means there were no requested improvements other than what we were already providing within our proposed plan. We're dedicating about 16.4 acres of public park. We talked about that, diverse housing type and price points. All the infrastructure, this is an important point because this is what council really wanted me to focus on, was that all the public infrastructure, all the construction costs on this is publicly is funded by ourselves. There's no city incentives. We're not asking for any impact fee reimbursements. We've got some oversized streets we're building. We've got some oversized sewer lines we're building, but we're not coming back with our handout to the city. So most of the time we would ask that request, but through the various meetings that became clear that that was not a favorable ask, and so we turned it upon ourselves to make sure that it's something we can do. So, and then, you know, projected long-term city property tax revenues, we're thinking this is going to kick off about 600,000 to $1 million a year at full build out, once it's at full build out to the city and into the tax coffer. So, and then again, the enhanced architectural, landscaping, open space standards, and it's all managed by a professional HOA management. So that's all I have. I would love to answer questions that you have, and would appreciate your support.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Did he answer your question on the access?
No, not really. He said there's gonna be a gate, doesn't say it's gonna be locked.
There's a Knox box that it'll be locked.
Yeah, that's in the
All
development
times.
agreement with the
I'm
council.
talking about the one up for the, that goes down the hill, not the access gate particularly. The access gate, y'all are gonna do it anyway, but, down the hill
Yes, sir.
allows access for any wandering person from downhill, uphill. Y'all call it a trail, I call it access. I never had it up till then, till now. It wasn't totally fenced in our area. Our area was blocked off from the rest of the world. It was like most good neighborhoods, like you're just trying to build, the neighborhood is safe on both sides. Now once you open that up, Willowwood is now open from both ends to foot traffic.
We don't have to do a pedestrian
And
gate.
that's,
So that's something that we, sure, I mean, that was just something that
I
council.
understand the benefit both ways, guys,
Yeah.
except for one little thing, that is, if you bring people up on a trail that now Royal View is not prepared to have walking traffic, but I walk on it all the time. But you have to dodge cars because you're in the street.
Where is the pedestrian gate?
That hasn't really been designed. It would,
Basically, looking at his drawing, I'm gonna say, correction, sir, but it would be right close to where the actual egress gate is from the other one. Would that be correct?
yeah, probably right in that area.
I mean, and I'm not, you know, it's
Yeah.
just a, yeah,
Sure.
thought. And I really don't have a problem, except I'm just trying to bring that forward, that does open my neighborhood up to let, and you know, maybe I sound paranoid, guys, but a guy comes and I don't know who lives down the hill. You have $500,000 houses, but you also have all sorts of people down in the shopping area, the whole nine area, that this attracts. And if he wanted to get away, he would be coming up out of the house. I mean, because it's now open. And that's my concerns. I know, like I said, it sounds drastic, but to a certain extent on one side. On the other side, I'm just concerned that we do something about it.
Yeah.
Pedestrian gate would either lock or at least something that just, you know, honestly, the gate slows people down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just to clarify, it won't be open because you will have that 4-foot fence between the, you know, so that
Yeah.
20-foot easement will be fenced that whole route. So, but you're right, there with the pedestrian gate, we can either code it or just leave it to where it's open or don't have one. It's really, I'm agnostic to that, to be
Can I
honest with
ask
you.
another
So,
question?
yes.
On the fence that you're going to build around this thing, and who maintains it and how do they get to it?
Just like you would have with any fence that backs up
I
between
mean,
you.
how far is the offset from my property?
Well, we're right on the property, the fence will be right on the property line, so
How are they going to maintain it?
they can access it from their side of the property.
Well, maybe you haven't looked at these rotten wooden fences around this part of the world.
It'll,
That's what, I mean, I'm gonna be looking at a 6-foot fence now, where that's the other. One more question, and I'll be through. How tall are your houses gonna be on that row of nice houses?
well, they're large enough that a lot of those will be single-story, but,
Are they
yeah.
gonna be single story, or are you gonna be putting 3 stories up there?
No, you won't see any three-story.
Okay, I'm just asking, because my view's wonderful now, I understand it's gonna be obstructed, but
Yes, sir.
if it's reasonably obstructed, that's pro, that I have.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
This
Thank you,
this
guys.
this is excellent dialogue, and that's what we encourage. Thank you.
yeah.
What about the
If I
drainage?
may, excuse me, I'm sorry.
The drainage issue.
So, yeah, it's, like I say, I'm elevated up just down the hall, okay? And so like, you know, I just wanna know how they're gonna come on my side to my property. You know, are they gonna put a retaining wall right there? Because I'm about 20 foot elevated above this. So, you know, are you gonna put a big retaining wall along my side of my fence there or side of my property? Or, I just wanna be prepared for what I'm gonna have to do, stuff.
He said he'd take care of it for you.
Well, what we've done, yeah,
Take care of everything.
For sure.
But
But
that's
I'll-
not gonna happen.
Well, I will tell you that all of it will be located, whatever improvements we do will be located on our side of the property. Right, and so, but we will come back out, and as I told you when we chatted, before we get into doing anything, we'll come out and sit with you, show what our plans are, talk about it, how that impacts.
Because, like I say, the way it goes right now, my property's up here, and about 20 feet out, it goes down.
You're probably there'll probably be a wall right there, and it's.
So about 15 foot of that is yours.
Correct.
So you're gonna cut about 15 foot out.
Probably, yeah.
I'll put a retaining wall on my side. And then that puts my septic tanks like right into a retaining wall.
Are your septic tanks are right on the property line?
Well, like I say, with the way that my drain field runs.
Yeah.
It'll be like right to that retaining wall.
Okay.
So I'll have to reroute more than likely.
Well, we can talk about that if there's a need to do
that's-
that, yeah,
that's-
for sure.
Man, I just wanna know kind of what to expect,
Yeah.
where I can get prepared.
I gave you my card,
Yeah.
and we've been around a long time, and we work with all the neighbors to make sure that we're not impacting them and help enhance whatever we're doing out there, so.
That's all you can ask.
Yeah.
Just kind of give me a heads up on how much.
Yes, sir. You bet. A lot of that will come into more clarity as we get into the design side of things. So once we get through the zoning and entitlements, we get into the grading plans, we get into all the drainage plans. We've done preliminary grading and drainage, but it'll get in a lot more detail and we'll figure all this
I
out.
know this is a hypothetical. I know this is like, if you look at your stuff, you got phase one down the bottom, phase two. Are we talking a year out for phase two? 2 years?
I'm
out
building the
for
whole
phase
thing,
two?
it's all one phase. We're doing the whole thing at one time. So from a timing standpoint, which I didn't talk about, assuming and hopeful that we get approval at council next week, if we get through y'all, then we go into the design stage, right? And we close on the property, Brothers in Christ, and we're gonna team up on this thing. The design stage will take about 90 days to get through the civil design and get it approved by the staff. And then we'll start construction. And the civil construction on the infrastructure before the home starts, probably a 15-month process on this project. So you're talking delivery of the finished lots late 2027. The good thing about everybody north, east, and south of us, none of that truck traffic or construction traffic is going to come through. So it won't be hitting any of those public streets over there. It's all going to come through Crown and up that way. That's because it's the only way to access it right now. So
My street couldn't handle.
yeah, I know. I've seen your streets. So that's a good thing. So 15 months to do that, and then it's probably about a 2.5 to 3 year home construction build out. So assuming the market holds and they're selling lots at the pace we think they will be, or selling homes.
Perhaps the tax revenue generator can help fix his road down the road, you know what I mean?
Right. That's above my pay grade. Can't help you with that.
Are you still going?
I'm sorry?
Are you gonna, did you have a picture of that gate?
Yeah. This is a representative photo when we get into the design and know exactly where it's going to be located, but that shows you kind of, we put pillars on both sides. They'll have a gate in the middle, have a Knox box, what Tony says, a Knox box. Basically, it's an alert system, so when the fire truck pulls up their EMS, they can hit a button or they hit their siren and it hears it and it opens the gate.
So it'll be an automatic gate, electric gate, not a
It'll be an
manual.
electric gate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
With a manual override with a Knox box key?
Yeah, and then obviously, if it's not working, they can jump out and hit a button and manually open it.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. I'm also with Mr. Brooks and Mr. Murray. I live right there.
Okay.
On Camelot.
Yes,
Just
sir.
a block down the street. And I was concerned that if that emergency access is opened, and you've already said trucks aren't coming, but my street would kind of become a through street.
Yeah.
Which, brand new road.
right,
So it's pretty nice.
yeah.
But,
Well,
anyway.
you got the tax dollars over on your road.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Good.
Willow wooded neighborhood. But so the north property, that grass field right there that's straight north of it, did y'all try to get that?
No,
No.
we've got an agreement with that gentleman, though. There's an access easement right now where his driveway is. It's actually on our property. And so we're going to relocate it onto his property and then get rid of the access easement. So that's already signed and staff's getting a copy of that, so. But he was not in the mode to sell at this point, so.
Yeah.
Smart.
Hoping it never does.
Yeah,
Yeah, you got a lot of deer out there right now, so.
yeah.
And it was mentioned also the far east lots that border those acre lots with single-family dwellings. Some of those are going to be two-story and one-story, you said?
Could be two-story and one-story, yeah, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they could kind of rise above and,
Well, they're gonna be down, that elevation drops as well.
they're going
so,
to, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You said those are about half acre?
Those are 19,800, so a half acre is like 22, so yeah, they're real close to a half acre.
Yeah, I made some notes just for me. You know, the pros are tax, tax incentives, home values will go up. I personally think it'll make it, safe because the neighborhood, the reputable company, there'll be, however many homes there are, there'll be 200 Ring cameras. They'll, normally
Get on the system, yeah.
families move in.
Yes, sir.
It's better than a junkyard.
Right.
The view's gonna possibly decrease. I get that. And the lights, the extra lighting, which I understand that.
Yeah.
As long as they're not pointing directly at Mr. Murray's house or any of the neighbor,
Right.
you know what I mean? But
Yes.
you can't control that, honestly. But, I've kind of thought about this a lot since I first moved because I knew this was gonna happen. I'm glad that your company's doing it because it seems better. On the gate, locks keep out honest people.
Yeah,
So if they want over, they're gonna get over.
right.
But, possibly a keypad or no, or what?
On the pedestrian
Because
gate.
they're gonna
It's a
make,
4-foot fence.
they're gonna get over.
Yeah, because people still gonna have to leave, so which side do you do it on? And if it's gonna be
Yeah.
open to the public and not just, that's restricting it to only the HOA to use, it doesn't,
It's
I mean-
it's a deterrent, but it's not what
because you're wanting pass-through from the other neighborhoods to be able to walk and access.
If they
that.
want to, yeah, like I said,
Once-
I don't,
Yeah.
that was just an option to allow the folks that live in Willowwood, in the area over here, to be able to get on that trail and get
Right.
down to the park and frankly, walk down to get something to eat at the retail.
Well, and selfishly, if I wanna go there, I have to go down Kings Gate.
Exactly.
Which is like,
Yeah, that's difficult.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
fighting for.
So you'd have a 6-foot wooden fence on one side and a 4-foot metal fence on the other side?
Just a
Maybe
walking trail.
possibly a sidewalk, don't know, to
Yep.
cruise down through there? Now, is there gonna be any other amenities within the neighborhood for,
Just the common park area on the bluff high area there. Have y'all been out there and seen the property? You got a really high bluff that sits up there, and so we designed it where that common area between the pink and the kind of the yellow there, where Chelsea's pointing at, that's where the bluff is. And so those houses above there will sit up super high and look down on everything and down on the rest of the homes. And then we got that existing pond that we'll be cleaning up and turning into a detention area. So more passive, lots of walking trail. I think there's several miles of walking trail we've got on this project. And that's really what folks are looking for these days in these master plan communities, it takes about 400 lots or more to do a big amenity center, to be able to carry the cost of that, without overly burdening the people that live there.
so what would the HOA dues be based on?
You're probably looking at
Based on square footage? or
about
is it
$500 a year out here.
Regardless of what
Pretty
size?
reasonable. Yeah, regardless of what size, yeah.
All those big trees, I'm assuming they're going down?
Yeah, if we can keep as many as we can around the bluff and the pond there, we'll do that, but most of the others will probably be.
There's some pretty big trees on that far west side.
Far
Sorry,
west.
east side, that would be in the
Up
backyard.
towards the northeast there, yeah. So
Backyards.
if we can cut in a lot and build the pad and leave those trees, then the home builders would love that all day long. It's value
Yeah.
to us. That value.
Privacy too.
Yeah, so.
Is there access from Crown down to the shops at Willow Park? And
Well, what you see there is we're building that access point that comes down through our community. So,
Right.
Chelsea, can you kind of show them that?
On which
pointers?
one?
Is that,
Right here?
No, our Crown extension where,
yeah, where the.
Yeah, so right here
Crown
where-
goes down.
so we're tying into Crown Road. That'll go ahead and cross the bridge and then you can get on right down into the shops there on Crown Point.
This is Crown
Right.
Point.
So all the neighborhood, all the neighbors on the north side can literally drive a golf car or whatever, just down through there into the shops.
Is that gonna be a three-way
Yeah,
stop?
there's,
That'll be a three-way.
It is gonna be a
Three-way
three-way stop.
Thanks God, because that intersection
Yeah.
is super
there's
sketchy.
two ways that they can go down Crown to Crown Point, or they can actually go down JD Tolls all the way down to Meadow Place, so.
That
they'll
would
have both-
be,
Both ways.
I got plenty of neighbors that are looking forward to that, because they got kids and whatever, and they want to go down to the station or to the district, and they want to have access to,
They're also carrying the bike lanes up,
Yeah.
continuing them up JD Tolls through the development as well.
I didn't mention that.
yeah.
So I think what you'll see is a lot of the reserves at Trinity, the folks south of us will come up through our project to get over to the shops at Villa Park there, because they can just come up and just jump down south instead of having going all the way down to Kings
Right.
Gate and come back around.
Right.
So I think it'll make a nice cohesive, access point. Now, what we're not doing is putting a pedestrian crossing across that bridge. It was just too prohibitive. But we are widening it, so, folks, if they're walking, will still have to cross the bridge,
Right.
in the traffic flow, but, shouldn't be that much traffic, But they can also go south through the Kings Gate. There's that pedestrian crossing down there as well.
Right. Any,
I'm good.
And the dirt bike question, it's,
Commissioners, I just had something that I wanted to just point out for your information as well as for the public, and that is the fact of, this is a planned development, so this is their zoning. And so you've heard Mr., I was going to call you Scorberg, you're not.
Holland.
Mr. Hollins talk about the development agreement. So those are two different documents. So the development agreement is dealing with the infrastructure and the amount of homes that are going to go in there and all of the outline of what the subdivision is to be, and that's what council has already approved. That doesn't come to planning and zoning because it is not zoning. That is a document that's based on what the developer is responsible for the subdivision and what they're proposing and what council is agreeing for them to do and that negotiation. I will say that we've been working on this for 2 years.
Yeah.
So this is not something that has come to you that's willy-nilly and it's just been an overnight thing. We've been working on this for years to get it to the point where it is now. And the other thing is that I did want to address what you were talking about, the trees. So I know, none of us like to take out trees. I remember too that a lot of the trees are the mesquite trees that are the softwood trees. And so those are what we consider kind of junk trees because they are not hardwood trees. So of the development of what our standards say, our ordinances say, is that the fact that you keep the trees that you can, obviously that don't prohibit the development. So they're aware of the fact that they keep what they can, but they replace the trees. Obviously, per the planned development, we have trees that they also have to put in with each home.
yeah,
So,
two trees a house, I saw.
Yes, and so it's the hardwood trees, and unfortunately, majority of what we have are the mesquite trees and that are not the good trees to keep. So, being hardwood trees is what we really focus on, and then the diameters of the trunks and things. So, but our ordinance does simply say that if you take trees out for development, as long as you're putting some trees back. And so that's.
Yeah, I get
Yeah.
it. I drove by there today before I
Yes.
came. And if you look straight down that east line,
Yeah.
the backyards have huge trees.
And like Mr. Holland
Potential
said,
backyards.
yeah, that's a huge selling point. So they're gonna keep what they can
Yeah.
because everyone's, treed lot for having that foliage and the privacy and lower energy costs and all the things. So, that's definitely a premium lot to have trees on. So having sold homes before, for builders before, that's definitely, you get a lot more money out of that for a premium lot for having trees on it or being a little bit bigger. So that's definitely something that they're gonna wanna keep as well, as long as they can bench it and make sure that it drains properly. I'm speaking out of turn, but.
No, you're
that's-
good.
So,
Can I just add one thing? The development agreement that we got approved by council did not include any zoning. So,
Right.
that, a lot of times, Those do include land use provisions in them in the development agreement, and in cooperation with staff and the council asking us to pull those out, because a lot of times when you're annexing a property in to the city, you're giving the city the benefit of annexing that property. And so in return, you try to go ahead and tie down your zoning. And so you've probably seen some of the news recently about one of the recent projects that occurred on, and the zoning got approved as part of, not the zoning, but the land use aspect of the project was also approved through the DA, right, development agreement. That didn't occur here, so they were very cognizant of that and made sure that we pulled it out. So y'all had your say before it goes to council and they approved it. So I want to make that clear.
And like, the land use is not zoning, so in the development agreement, the land use is strictly that, it's land use. So that doesn't weigh anything into the zoning, so that's why that document doesn't come to you beforehand. So it is not zoning for it, but because of the perception that most people don't understand the difference between the two, we asked Mr. Holland to take that out in this particular document so that it didn't give that perception. So that the land use that the zoning was already being approved in the development agreement. It's not. It's a different necessity for it in that, whereas in here, it is strictly zoning. So, I know that's confusing, but.
Or I'll just look-
Clear as mud, clear as mud. Mr. Holland, thank you for taking the time
Yes, sir.
and educating us on the last 2 years.
All right, anyone have any other questions? No? Okay, well, let's see if we can get a motion for the rezoning from the R1 to the planned development for the Clarion subdivision.
You okay? I'll make a motion to approve item number 9, as stated.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. All right. So now we get to move on to the plat, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, discussion and action to consider approval of a preliminary plat for the Clarion development.
Yes, Commissioners, as previously presented to you, this is the Clarion's preliminary plat. Staff has looked at this extensively. There's only a few comments that would be conditional on the preliminary plat's approval. They do follow their PD zoning throughout with their lot widths and depths and sizes. As you can see in your packet, each of them also states how many square feet the lot is, as well as the acreage right below it. I know that there were a couple of comments from the city engineer that mentioned drainage easements that are called out, and of course, different number changes, but other than that, and anything that you see that would be changed would be minimal.
All right. Any questions?
Commissioners, when you make your motion, I would ask that you make a motion to approve the preliminary plat with addressing of the staff's reviewed conditions.
Say that one more time. I was trying to.
Right?
You'll approve if you approve the preliminary plat, that it will be with the staff's conditions.
Staff comments.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the preliminary plat with the staff's conditions, city staff's conditions?
I motion to approve item 10 with what you said.
Staff
City
conditions.
staff conditions,
As presented.
As presented.
as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the ayes have it. Executive session,
No executive session.
reconvene to open session. Can we adjourn? This meeting is adjourned.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
1926.
7:22.
These papers are throwing me all off. Double-sided.
I know, I'm sorry.
Double-sided, out of order.
I
You know how long it
really
takes- Okay,
got you all
I
messed
print-
up.
What I did was, I didn't print mine out, but I was going to.
I saw you
took
last time
every
you were
link.
here with the
Put them in order.
Yes, sir.